Hello, my dear learners. I am Teacher Shaira, and welcome to another English class with me. Last week, we have learned the use of simple present tense and the different present time expressions. For today's lesson, we are going to learn about the simple past tense of verbs. Before we begin our lesson for today, don't forget to subscribe on my channel. Ring the notification bell for more updates. Like, share, and comment in this video. Because learning is bliss, learn with Teacher Shaira. To start our lesson for today, let me ask you a question. What are your experiences that you find memorable? Our memories of past events like birthday celebrations, family gatherings, and previous school experiences matters. Most probably, you do not want to forget any of them. You may also think of going back and remembering them from time to time. But the question is, how are you going to express these thoughts and actions that took place in the past? The answer is simple. You need to use the past tense of verbs in describing your experiences in the past. Now at this moment, we will be reading a paragraph, and as we read it, I want you to have your pen and paper beside you and try to identify all the words that are written in past form. Are you ready to listen? Let's start! I had a very interesting weekend. On Saturday, I woke up in the morning and had breakfast with my family. It was my father's birthday, so we prepared a special meal for him. After that, we went to the club and played dodgeball all day. We had lunch at the club. At night, we went to a restaurant where the waiter sang happy birthday to him. He was so embarrassed. On Sunday, we traveled to our country house where all the family got together. We had a cookout. My uncle played the guitar and we all sang together. We had a lot of fun. Now, I am going to give you additional 30 seconds for you to identify all the words that are written in past form. Are you done? Let's check your work. Now, what are the words that are written in past form in this paragraph? We have the words had, woke, was, prepared, played, went, sang, traveled, and got. Are you able to write all the words correctly? If you did, that's very good. If not, let us dig in more about what simple past tense is. Now, what is a simple past tense of verbs? Simple past tense of verbs is used to describe an action or condition that took place at a specific point in the past. Remember our clue words here, my dear learners. We have here the word action that took place in the specific point in the past, meaning to say it already happened. So these words are actually very important in telling or retelling a story that has happened before. But how do we form simple past tense of verb? There are different ways of forming the past tense of verbs depending on the types used as to regular verbs and irregular verbs. First, we have here for regular verbs. Regular verbs form their past tense by adding ed to their base form. For example, we have here the words start becomes started, walk, walked, rest, rested, talk, talked, visit, visited, play, played, and watch, watched. We simply add an ed to the base form. So that's how we form the past tense for regular verbs. Now, for regular verbs that ends in E, their past tense is formed by adding just the letter D. For example, we have here create becomes created, type, typed, bake, baked, die, died, agree, agreed. Again, for some regular verbs that already ends in E, we just have to add D, just like these examples. This is another rule for regular verbs. For some regular verbs that ends in Y, preceded by vowels, their past tense is formed by adding ed as well. Just like this example. We have here the word enjoy becomes enjoyed. Pray becomes prayed. Another one, for some verbs that ends in Y, preceded by consonants, their past tense is formed by changing Y to I before adding an ed. Again, you have to first change Y to I before we add an ed if Y is preceded by a consonant letter. Just like these examples, we have here the word dry becomes dried, copy becomes copied. Now, how about for irregular verbs? Irregular verbs do not form their simple past tense by adding ed or d to their base form. Instead, irregular verbs form their simple past either by changing their spelling or no change in spelling at all. Just like these examples. These are the common irregular verbs that has changes in its spelling. And these are some of the irregular verbs that doesn't change the spelling at all. We have here the example be or am and is becomes was. And then we have here be or are becomes were. Come becomes came, get, got, go, went, know, knew, make, made, say, said, see, saw, think, and thought. On the other hand, these are the words that doesn't change its spelling at all. Cut, cut, hit, hit, hurt, hurt, let, put, read, read, set, and shot, shot. Here are other examples of some irregular verbs. You can pause in this section so you can read it all. Also, you need to remember that the use of time expressions is very helpful in indicating that an action took place in a specific time in the past. These are some of the common time expressions for past tense. We have here yesterday, last week, last month, 1 week ago, 2 months ago, 3 years ago, yesterday, yesterday morning, in 1990, the day before yesterday, in March, on Sunday, and when I was born. Here are some example sentences. Karen bought a new car last month. The bus stopped a few minutes ago. I met my wife 9 years ago. Jackson came home very late last night. I forgot my wallet in the bus. Can you try making your own sentences? Write it down in the comment box below. To summarize our lesson for today, these are the things that you need to remember about simple past tense of verbs. First, it is used to describe an action or condition that took place at a specific point in the past. Second, to form regular verbs into simple past tense, we have to add an ed, d, or change y into I, then add ed, depending on the rule applicable for each. On the other hand, remember that irregular verbs form their simple past either by changing their spelling or no change in spelling at all. Lastly, remember that the use of time expressions is very helpful in indicating that an action took place in a specific time in the past. These are some of the common time expressions. We have here yesterday, a week ago, last month, last year, 9 minutes ago, last Sunday, and 2 weeks ago. That is all for today, my dear learners. I hope you have learned something. Thank you and God bless.